Okay. Hey everybody. Let me just set up chat. Give me 1 second. Okay. I'm trying to find my chat. Hold on, guys. Um, there it is. Okay. Sheesh. Alrighty. Okay. I am here. Um, I'm not gonna be on for too long because I know I'm not gonna last very long. Um, Fun fact, I just got out of the hospital yesterday. So, um, yeah, I'm okay now. But let me just, I have so many eraser shavings on my desk because I have been working on my coloring book. So, I have been in my Royal Talents art creation. I don't know if it's Royal Talents. I keep saying Royal Talents, but it might, I don't know. It's Talents art creation, I guess. But I've been in here, and this is like my learning sketchbook. So I have like random stuff in here. Um, but I did the first actual coloring page for my coloring book, if you can see. And then I did, and I don't know if this is going to be the exact page order, but I did another one. And then I started another one. So I've been working on creating my coloring book very slowly. So today I kind of just printed out the first two copies. And I thought I would test some paint markers. I don't know, I might use this paper for the coloring book. It's pretty thick. I'm not sure yet. You can use watercolors on this paper. I've used watercolor on this paper, but I haven't, like, I don't saturate it. I don't use a lot, so I wouldn't recommend using a lot. But you can use everything else. Paint markers. It's kind of a smooth paper. And this is just like a rough sketch. So I kind of want to test out some things. You guys know I like doing things in paint marker, but um maybe we'll test some color pencils. But I do want to do my paint marker first. Uh yeah. So we're just going to do a little bit of that, and I won't take too much time. So you can probably see it a little better on here than you could with the sketchbook because I made the lines a little darker before I printed them. So, I mean, we could do some color pencil. I can grab my polychromos, or we can do like some. I do want to try the paint marker, but I also want to. I mean, I know color pencils is going to work on this paper because I've used it. This is the paper I use for my PDFs and stuff. It's kind of thick. I forget how many pounds. I want to say 120, but don't quote me. It might be like 110. I'm not sure, but it's pretty thick paper. So you can use water-based markers, paint markers, alcohol markers works good on this paper. What else? Um, Color pencil, obviously. Those are just the things that I mainly use. You can probably get away with some acrylic and stuff too, but the details is kind of small. So I mean, just use what you want. See what it works. If you're going to use water, be careful because it's not watercolor paper. I can't stress that enough. Okay, so let's just get started, I guess. I guess I'll start on this small one down here, and we'll go from there because like I said, I'm not gonna last very long. Um, so I am just going to start. I'm looking for a nice gray. I want this to kind of be like a black pot, and I should probably do it with colored pencil, like alcohol marker and then colored pencil maybe. Um, but let's get both together. I have my shuttle art here, and I think I'll be glad when I get a decent color for her. And let's try number 74 in the nicety markers. And I just kind of have these open on the side here. So it might take me a minute. My nicety markers, I just have them, excuse the noise. I just have them in here. I have a lot of alcohol markers, guys. I mean, not alcohol markers. What do you call them? Paint markers. So, oh, here, 74. Perfect. It didn't take long. So, let's see what that looks like. These you don't need to shake, but I shake it out of habit. So, just going to and once I scan these, I'm going to put them in my Procreate app on my tablet and clean it up. And once I clean it up, it'll be officially done. And I'm going to do that for each page. So after I sketch them all out, I was thinking of as I sketch them, do them in Procreate, but I'm not really sure yet how I want it to go. But I do like this yellow for Miss Bow. So that's what we're going with. And this is just the nicety marker. This yellow is kind of transparent. It's not completely opaque, so it'll cover the lines probably if you go over it multiple times, but um, it'll probably take multiple attempts. Yeah, so nothing much has been up with me. Like I said, I just got out of the hospital. Uh, I am doing better, but I'm moving a little bit slower than normal. But outside of that, I'm fine. Uh, I was supposed to do, well, not supposed to, but I told Taylor I was going to try and do a live stream for her. That was on Wednesday. Um, that ended up not happening, and I ended up going in, I believe, late Thursday night, and yesterday was Saturday. So, yep, Thursday to Saturday. But I'm home now. Everything's gonna be fine. I noticed that if you, just like with any marker, if you scrub too long in one spot, it will start to pill up the paper. So be careful with that. And I know I said I was just doing that one square, but I might as well color all the bowls, right? It just makes the most sense. Yep, okay. Hi, create and relate. View, hi, View. Yes, I am home. I couldn't wait to get home. I really couldn't. I'm not a fan of, like, I'm glad they're there to help and everything, but I am not a fan of hospitals. Um, the entire time I was there, the little machine that checks your blood pressure was just beeping the entire time. And I asked the lady, I'm like, can we like shut that off? You guys keep telling me to get rest, but this thing's beeping every like 10 minutes. So she told me, she said, it's beeping now because your blood pressure is high. So, so long as it's high, it's going to beep. I said, well, it's always high. So, I mean, can we do something? No, because they had to monitor. So that thing beeped the entire time. Like it's branded into my memory, the beeping noise of that machine. And everything was so bright. And I don't know, I can't, I've never really liked hospitals. So it's really nice to be home. Okay, so we got Bo squared away. Oh, you have family over. Okay. Enjoy, enjoy. Yeah, this is going to be a page in my coloring book. So I thought I would just, test out coloring it and see if I like this paper. Um, Even though I know I like this paper, I still wanted to double check because it's not going to be just me coloring in the coloring book. Everybody's going to be coloring. And I think I might decide, I haven't decided yet on if I'm going to color in the eyes or I might leave those for you guys to color in. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, but yeah. So we're just testing out some supplies, really paint markers, because that's what I have out and that's what I like using. But um, everything else works in this book. I mean, in this book, it's not a book yet. It's not a book yet. I feel like I need to say that a couple times because there's going to be someone in the comments later that's going to be like, oh, you said this was part of your coloring book, but I can't find the coloring book anywhere. It's not a coloring book yet. I'm working on it. Um, this is just one page of the book. So it's not a coloring book yet. All right, I think that's enough times. I think hopefully the people in the back got the message. But yeah, one day I'm working on it. I've already got 2 pages done. So, I mean, if I keep kind of going with the same kind of like flow, I should be all right as long as I don't get any weird hiccups, um, no kind of like, I don't know if I want to use this color. I'm looking at this other color. Maybe if I don't like it, I can go over it. It's paint marker. Um, I know some of you guys have been wondering where the heck has Bubbles been? Yeah. So I'm just going to sit here and try not to run my mouth too much because um, I'm supposed to be really resting my voice because me running my mouth tends to lead to me being short of breath. So I'm going to try not to run it too much. But like I said, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Everything will be fine. And we're just gonna hang out and color for a bit. I will be glad when I do get this done though, because it would be nice to have my own coloring book. And it would also be nice to like hear feedback for when people buy it and if they enjoy it or don't enjoy it. Um I don't know how many pages, I don't know how thick. It probably won't be super thick because if I am going to be binding it myself, which by the way, that's something I need to learn how to do because I think I want it to be spiral bound. I've always liked the spiral bound books. Um, kind of like Wilder Gorn, maybe not that fancy of a spiral bound because um, I wouldn't even know how to bind something like that. But I would figure out how to do a decent binding for it and the size and all of that stuff. Originally, I wanted it to be square, but I think I like the regular paper size. Hopefully, that's not too big. Uh, but you guys will let me know all of that once the book comes out and you buy it and you color in it and all that stuff. I really don't want it. It won't be on Amazon. I'm telling you guys that right now. Um, I don't like the Amazon paper. So for now, it'll only be a US book because you'll be able to purchase it from my shop, my Ko-fi shop. So, um, anything outside of that, I'm gonna have to wait a little bit just because it's cheaper to ship in within the US. So that's kind of where I want to keep it. But I'm learning to add details to the picture so it's not like um, too empty. So some of them will be simple, some of them will be detailed, so you can kind of color what you want and how you want. Um, that's something that I'm trying to keep in mind as I do this as well. So, yeah. Um, there's like little knickknacks and things in here, but I don't want it to be overly complicated. And then you guys are like, oh, heck no, I don't want to color that. She got too much going on. So some pages are going to be like that. Like I feel like this one has a lot. This top one has like a bunch of little things going on in the background, but it's not too much. Um, and then you have kind of like a simpler one here. And then this one has a lot going on, but it's a smaller version. So, and then the one that the second one I did is much simpler than this one, but there's still enough to color. Like this one has a few little details. Yeah, no, I don't want it to look like Joanna's. That's way too much. When I color hers, it's fun to color, but it takes a really long time. And honestly, I don't really want to be like, oh, you know, let me just do this page and be done. I do want it to look like something, but at the same time, I don't want it to be too much. I probably should have did this pot in alcohol markers. It's pretty big. It's a big pot. Also, if you hear him in the background, I don't know if you guys probably can't hear him, but he's playing the game and he's yelling at his team. So just bypass that. I don't think they're in there doing so well. So he's giving them a nice, good old piece of his mind. I think this marker is running dry. This is one that I use quite a bit. And I think it's finally given up on me a little bit. So I'm going to give it another pass over. And this is pretty wet. And, it's not watercolor, so it's not going through the paper. But it is pretty wet because it still is paint. And then it's water-based paint. So, all right, there's the pot. But I went heavy, but it only buckled a little bit. If you can see, it's just very slightly. So I'm glad I'm like testing things out. Yeah, that's still wet. I don't know why I did that. All right, let me grab and let's see if I can. Whoops, I don't know what that was. I just knocked over. But okay. I'll check on that later. Let me grab another gray here for the pot. CG2. And I'm using alcohol marker next. And then we'll go back to, but we're just here to see. I haven't used alcohol marker in so long. That is a lot faster than the paint. And I think I'm going to do the same thing here because it's faster and it'll be less streaky. But alcohol marker works just fine on this paper. I should probably use the chisel tip side. Your pot doesn't have to be gray either. I'm just using simple colors because I'm just kind of really testing the paper. This is not the final line work either. It'll be more defined and everything, but just testing it, just testing it. So I'm going to need to know if I'm going to need to get different paper or what, but I think I like the paper. Not I think, I mean, I do like the paper. Alcohol marker works great. Let's grab some other colors because there's like a lot of browns and stuff. So let's see, I can grab this color, and this can be like for the cabinets back here. And we'll try some colored pencils and stuff too. And these are the same cabinets. So I'm gonna after I get off here, I haven't played Infinity Mickey in a while, so I might play a little bit of that. I've also been playing this shooter game called Delta Force. It's a free shooter game. I've actually been enjoying it a little bit better than Call of Duty, which is crazy because you have to pay for Call of Duty. So imagine that. But I find it a little bit more enjoyable. I don't have to hear anyone on the microphone. There's still some toxic people and also still some cheaters, just like in Call of Duty, but I don't have to hear the other team if I don't want to. I don't have to hear my team if I don't want to. I just have voice chat off because it's not like I'm playing with like friends or anything. So I just turn it off. And the only thing I hear is like the game sounds. It's pretty nice. And the weapons are really cool and fairly, I don't want to say easy, but they're easier to access than in Call of Duty. You don't have to pay for them if you don't want to, but if you do, they're not super expensive, which is nice. I'm going to switch back to the brush part here. But yeah, so this should be, I'm hoping it turns out to be a really cool coloring book one of these days. Like I said, if I keep going with making the pages the way I am, then it shouldn't take too long. But having that discipline to complete drawing the pages and stuff is not easy because I do have work, and then every time you blink in my direction, I wind up sick. So it's, God willing, nothing crazy happens. I should be able to get this thing rolling. And who knows, maybe I'll have more than one day. Have like a little series of coloring books. That would be cool. All right, so that's the alcohol marker, which is pretty nice. So with the paint marker, you know, it covers the lines a little bit, but with the alcohol marker, it doesn't. So you can go in with like pencil or whatever. I'm gonna look for like a reddish brown. Oh, let's see if I can find it. Oh boy. I haven't used these in a while, so it's kind of like trying to remember where the colors are is a little hard. Okay, here we go. This is light mahogany, and I'm using this for the base color of the wood. There's a lot of wood in here. I was going to do green, but I guess I could have did the walls green. That would have been cute. Okay. Something like that. And these are, like I said, it's coming along pretty quick. I haven't even put pencil or anything over it yet. But like I said, I want the pictures to be not super quick to where it's like, oh, I feel like that was like nothing to color. But at the same time, I want it to be something that can be completed. The book itself at some point can be completed, you know, not something that you just have there for years and years when you can complete it pretty quick. And of course, if you know, it's gonna have it's a ramen tails coloring book, so it's gonna have bow and miso, and but you don't have to color them the colors that they are. You can make them your own colors if you like. And this is not, if you guys know, I normally take forever on my colorings, but I'm kind of just throwing this one together because, like I said, it is a test page. So I'm just testing out the materials. We can even test out some gouache. And the black lines aren't exactly there because, um, again, this is just a test page. So let's see, where's the gouache? Here it is. All right, let's see. What can we test out? What colors? We can do We can do outside on this little window back here. And I'm moving kind of fast because again, I know my voice is not going to allow me to last as long as I would like to. So, this is gouache. You guys know I'm not really a watercolor person, but it's kind of the same thing. It's just an opaque watercolor. Let's see, we got some green. So, like I said, I don't use a lot of water. I just use a water brush, and whatever water comes out of that, that's typically what I use. And let's do a pink tree. So you can use any medium pretty much because the gouache is going down fine. It's not ripping the paper, but at the same time, I'm not using a lot. But as you can see, right here is where it is. But, you know, normal paper. It's just really thick normal paper. So you use what you want to use, but do be careful with the water. Don't come at me and be like, oh, water doesn't work. Well, you're probably using too much, and I'm sorry. I might have a digital version. I'm not sure yet. Um, I might start off with a digital version while I get the physical version together. I might do that, and we'll see. Whoops. And we'll see kind of where it goes from there. Um, it is just a bit simpler. Just gonna go with a brown for the floor, I guess. Just and remember, this is gouache, so it's more opaque than watercolor. Also, I noticed that with gouache on stuff like this, on like regular paper, it doesn't like sometimes when you have watercolor, it's a bit patchy. I noticed that the gouache is a lot less patchy. And I don't know if that has something to do with the fact that it's just thicker or what, but it is a lot less patchy. So I do like that about it. I'm gonna need a bit of a bigger brush for this other floor. I did get myself a feel better present. It won't be here until tomorrow. So I will show you guys if I'll probably show you guys on Wednesday when I'm off again from work. And then I'll show you guys then what it is. But I had to. I was like, I know I'm supposed to be on a no buy, but after the whole hospital thing, I was like, ugh. So I ordered myself something and I was like, okay, this is your feel better present. Um, so it'll be here Monday. And it did make me feel a little bit better, even though it's not here yet. Just knowing that it's coming, I was like, okay, now I feel a little better. But, and like I said, I'm fine. It's just random health stuff, but everything's good. I should have got an even bigger brush. I mean, this is one of my bigger water brushes. Um, but I don't like using regular paint brushes on my coloring pages because I tend to grab too much water. So I just kind of, but it's doable. As you can see, we are using gouache on this paper. We can probably use gouache for the whole thing if I'm being honest, but and it'll be fine. But you guys, you're colorists, you know what to use and what not to use on certain papers. So I'm sure you all will be testing it out and stuff once it releases. Or, like I said, the digital version will be available, and then you can just really use whatever paper you like. But, it buckles for sure. So don't go too heavy on me on the water, like I said. But outside of that, you should be fine. I am going to put some on this wall back here. I also want to make sure that the coloring book is not like super expensive. So once I find out, the binding cost and all of that, I have to factor that in, of course. But I want it to be more fun than anything. So we'll see how it goes. I'll probably just do like a limited supply of the physical, and then the rest you'll just have to get it digitally. So if you don't have a printer or something like that, then I would suggest pre-ordering the um, physical version if you're in the US, and then you could I will I will have like a thing where I'll let you guys know when the pre-orders are going to open, so you'll have a fair shot like everybody else. Kofi members, of course, will be known first, so they will have all the updates first. So if you're a Kofi member, then you will be notified first of pre-order days and release days and all that stuff. Everybody else, once I'll probably do it a day or two after I notify the Kofi members. give them a good little head start, and then notify everybody else after that. Okay, so I do like that. I need a like a dark brown for these in betweens. And Taylor, hey Taylor. And try to get a little bit of a black in there. Yeah. So maybe I'll do some I'm gonna test some color pencil. Taylor, you late. I'm actually not going to be on long, but I want to test the color pencil first, and then but to catch you up, this is a page. Hi Nessa. This is going to be a page from my coloring book. So I was testing this paper because I want to use this paper for the physical version. So I just wanted to see like what type of materials worked on it. So I'm just kind of throwing color down on the paper. Taylor all late talking about time. But yep, so it will buckle. Um, I mean, there's ways you can flatten it out and everything, but so far we've tested paint markers, alcohol markers, gouache. Um, so if you can use gouache, I'm assuming you can use what's the word I'm looking for? Watercolor. Sorry, y'all. I'm still not there all the way. Okay. Let's grab my polys because those are the ones I use. What in the world is this thing that YouTube then added now? I see a crown with a 1 and a crown with a 2. What is that? Does anybody know? Missing out on something here? So I'm just darkening where I think it should be dark. To the side here. And then I'm going to do a little bit underneath this pot, underneath the rim. So I tried to keep it kind of simple. My art style is pretty simple anyway, but I tried to keep the page simple enough where you can add your own little shadows and things like that. I didn't want to add any shading. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. It's supposedly encouraged. Oh, okay. All right. I see. I'm leaving the shadow work up to you guys. So if you want to add it, you can add it. If you don't, then you don't have to. But it is an option. You can do it. But I know there are some of you out there who don't like doing it. So you can also just leave it the way it is. I know sometimes I don't like doing shadows. I'll be like, nah, I'm just going to use my alcohol markers and I'll leave it at that. But sometimes I like to really get in there with the details, and sometimes I like to be kind of in the middle. So up to you. I'm just throwing color down, just showing you guys that what works, what doesn't. So far, everything has worked, which is great. Um, you can do the whole thing in pencil if you like. You can do the whole thing in alcohol marker if you like. Don't mind Yuki. There's some soul outside. And then also, I see, I'm looking out my window and the wind is kicking up. So that's fun. We'll have a nice, good old fashioned something going on here in a second. Don't know if it's going to be a storm or if it's just going to be the wind. You never know out here. So pencils work lovely. I mean, I use this paper, so I know pencils work. Um, and they all work on this paper. Polys is just the ones that I always reach for. So Prismas work fine. For those wondering, they work just fine. Yuki, knock it off, please. Not that you're gonna listen, but it would be nice. Yeah, because whatever he was barking at is long gone already. He just has this lingering bark effect where he just continues to bark, even though whatever he was barking at is already gone. He'll just keep going. He doesn't process very well that whatever he was barking at is gone. Um so pencils work. First of all, I like how the gouache turned out. And it seems like it's flattening itself out really. So like you can see we're buckled on the back, but that's the only part really. Taylor laughing. Yeah, we just let him go on with his I call it auto bark because I mean theoretically that's what it is. He's just stuck in bark mode. Ooh, um let's try some metallic watercolors. I have some gold handles and stuff here. Maybe we could do. So what? How are you? How am I issuing it? What do you mean? You mean like the format, or because I'm gonna do digital first, but I also plan on doing a physical version. because I know some people don't have printers and stuff like that. But it's only going to be the printed version. It's only going to be for the U.S. I'm not shipping to God knows where because I know some of you guys are not in the U.S. You're across the pond somewhere, but I don't know how to calculate shipping for that, and I'm definitely not paying shipping for that. So, um, well, I am going to do it myself first. I'm just going to have a digital version. You can purchase the digital version, but for the physical version, I'm thinking of doing it myself. That's why I'm testing the paper um, to see what kind of paper I want to use. Well, whatever. That's why I'm doing a digital version. That way, you can use whatever kind of paper you normally use when you print out your PDFs. Because some people have their own paper that they like to use, and they may not want to use the paper that I have. So, for if you want to use your own paper and you know what kind of paper you use, and you know, that's the paper you normally get, and that's the one you want to stick with, then I suggest doing the digital version, especially if you like using watercolor paper and stuff like that. Because I'm gonna tell you now, it's not gonna be on watercolor paper. Um, this is not watercolor paper. I can use watercolors on it, but this is not watercolor paper. So if you have watercolor paper and that's what you want to use, grab the digital version. If you don't, and you don't have a printer or whatever the case may be, then you'll want to wait for the physical version. But the digital version will come out first. As soon as I'm done with all of the pages, I only have 2 pages drawn. So it's not like it's going to be happening like next week or anything. But, I have 2 pages, well, 2.5. I have this one, which is the one that we're working on right now. This is Bo in her little shop where she does her potions and stuff. And then I have another one. That's this one. And this is at Miso. He's at the ramen shop, which is where Hot works part time. But that is him. And then you got Pot down here taking out the trash. So I have only 2 pages so far. I have been drawing them in my Talons creation sketchbook, or my learning sketchbook as I like to call it. But originally I wanted to do a square format, as you can see here. Um, this is possibly what the cover is going to look like in case anybody cares. And then the colored by page. But then I scrapped the idea of the square, and then I started going with this format, which is I think 8.5 by 11, if I'm not mistaken, or a little bit smaller. So I did the page we're coloring now, the ramen page, and then I'm working on a third already. So as long as I keep going, um, you know, hopefully soon, but don't quote me because every time you sneeze in my direction, I wind up sick. And there's always some kind of random setback. So we tested paint markers. Paint markers work fine, they dry fine. I tested my nicety ones and my Ohuhu, not Ohuhu, Shuttle Art ones. I have tested alcohol markers, gouache, metallic watercolor, as you can see, works just fine, all shiny. And color pencil, I did a little bit for the shading. What else? That's all really I use, guys. But I would assume that whatever you use, I mean, like I said, the page, if you use water, it is going to buckle because it's not watercolor paper. So it's going to buckle. You can put something flat on it or whatever. You can do your hair dryer or whatever you guys use to flatten it. The buckling doesn't bother me. Um, but I know it bothers some people, which is why I said go digital and you can print it out on your own paper. But the physical version, I'm really liking this paper because it holds everything just fine. As long as you don't use a ton of water, because I'm sure if you use a ton of water, it's going to go through. So as long as you don't use a ton of water, it should be fine. Um, so I think that I guess I should probably test my Arts because for me, um, the paint mark, yeah, I think this is a little bit, my sketchbook is a little bit bigger than 8.5 by 11. Because 8.5 by 11 is a standard paper size. And it's my sketchbook is a little thinner, but it's taller. So it's probably like 8 by, I don't know, maybe 12. I had the paper. I don't know what I did with it, but mm, but I would suggest going digital. And then, like I said, my Kofi members will be notified of the pre-order for the physical version first, and then everybody else. But the digital version is going to be released at the same time for everybody, uh, because it's a digital version. So once it goes up in the shop, it's up. Um, I again would suggest if you have your own paper, your own printer, your own preferences, you use only watercolor, however, whatever, go digital. I do not mind you printing it out a million times because you messed up. I don't care. Um, the only thing is, don't go printing out a million copies for your friends. Your friends need to buy it. That's the only thing I care about. But I don't care if you, oh, I messed up. I'm going to print another copy. I don't care. Once you buy it, I don't care. Just don't print out a million copies for a million people because that defeats the purpose. And yes, I feel like that has to be said because there are people that do it. They have like 20 friends and they're like, well, I already bought one. Let me go print it out 20 times for y'all so y'all don't have to buy it. And I will probably set um, what I'm thinking of doing. I'm probably going to set because I'm able to do that. I can set how many a certain person can download. So I think I might do that, and I really would hate to do that, and I don't think I want to do that unless I feel like it's going to be a problem. But I think you guys are good. I can trust you guys for the most part. Okay, so um, I don't see any cracking or anything with the paint marker or the gouache, really. Um, so that's good. Like I said, I think the paper is pretty decent. Everything dried nicely. Even my semi patchy gouache floor, it dried pretty nice. There are obviously each material has like its own little texture. So like the gouache is a little, I don't want to say rough, but you can feel the texture. Whereas if you use the alcohol marker and the watercolor too, it keeps the smooth texture of the paper. This paper is kind of smooth. It's not much texture to it at all. So it just kind of depends on what you want to use, really. I don't have any Prismacolors out, so I won't test that. But I pretty much tested everything. Um, unless you guys have something that I should test. I have my Inktense right here, but I would assume that that's the same thing as far as like water goes. I haven't used these things in like a decade, but we can test the Inktense. Let's see. So, all right, let's see. I have, guess we can do something for this brown stick here. What is this? Amber? I don't know. Let's do it. And yeah, it's just a dark color for the stick. It looks kind of like a greenish color, but we'll see once we wet it. So yeah, it's kind of like a weird green color, but that's okay. It's fine. Test page. It doesn't matter. So Inktense works. Let's do the stick on this side just because it's the same color. And, you know, once the Inktense dries, that's it. So you have to be quick with that. All right, Inktense works. I'm not doing any like super layers or anything like that either. So let's give our girl some. If we don't put her in pink, Taylor's gonna have a fit. So we'll give her some pink for her little shawl here. Cape, whatever you want to call it. And again, you guys feel free to use your own colors. You don't have to make them the colors that I put them in. If you want to, that's cool. But you don't have to. Get your coloring book. Use whatever colors you feel like it. I'll probably, I don't know if I'm going to, because when I get off of here, I'll probably play some Infinity Nikki or, because I haven't played since the last two updates. And I kind of want to catch up because they're going to be adding housing. And I need to catch up. I'm so far behind. That's also a free game that I play. It's on console and computer and phones and tablets. So if anybody plays and wants to play, that would be cool. But I know some of you guys aren't gamers, so that's cool too. All right, let me make sure I got this ugly green off of this water brush. Okay. And we'll give her her pink. When I wet it, it's more like a red, but I mean, it still looks pink, but it also kind of gives off a little bit of a red. But the Inktense works beautifully. No issues here. So I think I'm okay with this paper. You can even go on top and do whatever it is you need to do on top with it. But it works fine. Taylor's pink, exactly. Taylor be like, dang, put that girl in some pink or something. I'd be like, okay, Taylor, we'll put her in some pink or something. Sometimes, not all the time. Bonus points for those who know why she doesn't wear very many girly colors. It looks like it's about to start raining. We did not get no notification or nothing. But I wanted to keep it so super simple where you can just, you know, these pages shouldn't take you a long time to do. It should be super simple. Not super simple, like those simple books, but simple enough where you can be like, okay, I can do a page in a day and be done. That's kind of my plan, if possible. Now, if you scrub this while it's wet, I see the paper coming up a little bit. So obviously, wait until it dries. I was just curious. But yeah, if you do it while it's wet, it will, because again, this isn't watercolor paper. Right there is where the paper is coming up. So let them dry per usual. Nothing new on that. Let's see what I have for green. Let's try to mix some of these. So we have like this. And this is in front of the window, so technically this side should have been the lighter side, but who's keeping track, right? It's a test page. You'll be fine. But yeah, one day I would like to look into maybe like a publisher or something, but I would need definitely, you know, the funds for that. Maybe I could do like a Kickstarter or something. But if that flops, I'm gonna be kind of screwed. So I don't know. I'm not sure, guys, but don't quote me on, you know, too much. Just know that it's coming and I'm working on it, and digital is my first plan. We'll iron out the details for the physical one at a later date. But Inktense works really good. I like the Inktense in here, actually, on this paper. It doesn't seem like you have to do too much. I don't want it on Amazon paper. Nope. Because that paper is a hot mess. No, no, no. That is like the one thing I don't want is Amazon paper. And I can hear Taylor. She about to be calling me bougie, but that paper is terrible. I know some people out there that like it, but from my main understanding, most people don't. So there's the Inktense. Yeah, I don't want it on Amazon paper. If I was doing like something super, super simple or like something for kids or something like that, maybe. But can't do it. Can't do the Amazon, man. So everything works. I do like this size. I think this is a good size. Just regular paper size. I'm gonna have to resize some of these because, like I said, my sketchbook is bigger. So when I move it over to my iPad, I'm gonna have to resize them and touch them up, figure out how thick I want the lines. I think I'm gonna do gray lines though. I don't think I want black. I think I'm gonna do gray. That way, if you want the lines to disappear, they can disappear. If you want to cover them, you can, etc., etc. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to hop on, touch base with you guys. I know you guys are like, where the heck is Bubbles? So I am back home. Uh, if I feel like it, you guys will probably see me jump on, and I'll be playing Infinity Nikki here in a bit. So I don't know how well you guys will be able to hear me, but I'm gonna try to make the audio bearable. But I'm gonna hop on there, play some of that. So if you guys just want to come hang out and finish talking, we can still talk about the coloring book or whatever while we play, while I play. But I'm gonna move over to that because I've been drawing all day, so I'm gonna take a break. And later on tonight, though, I want to finish working on this one. And I've just been kind of flipping through my sketchbooks, getting inspiration because there are some sketches in there that I want to put in the coloring book, but I want to clean them up and add more things to them, etc., etc. So if I go live again, it'll be me playing the game, and I'll just see you guys over there. And it'll be on this channel, so you don't have to like switch channels or anything. It'll be on this channel, and I'll see you guys over there. I have to update the game first, so it'll probably be like 20-30 minutes. But yeah, thanks for coming. And if you're a Ko-fi member or if you follow me over on Ko-fi, you guys will see updates of the coloring book as I go along. So I might do some live streams where I'm doing some line work on the iPad. We'll see. Don't hold me to it, but I'm going to try to keep you guys updated. And if you don't see any updates, just know I'm still working on it. I'm just terrible at keeping up with updating. So I will see you guys later. And thanks for coming by. And if you come to the gaming stream, then I'll see you over there. Bye.